Hi, and welcome to class today. So today we're going to do a bunch of balancing yoga poses with standing on one leg. And these poses are quite similar to each other, so I'm going to group them together and you're going to see the similarity. Okay, so let's prepare 2 blocks with you. And let's start on the floor in a sitting pose. From here, really feel your hips and your spine growing from your hips. Take a deep inhale and exhale, close your eyes. When you inhale, raise your spine up high. And when you exhale, keep this height on your body. Exhale completely. Keep your breath very calm, long and slow. And have a sense of balance in this very simple, very easy yoga pose. So when you inhale, feel how your spine raising up. Feel how your bone structure is very stable, very strong here. When you inhale and exhale, you change the shape of your torso very much. But your spine is still growing very strongly from your hips. Keep the long, slow breath and feel how your shoulders are right above your hips. And your head is stacking nicely right at the center of your shoulders and at the top of your spine. Try to feel the strong sitting pose you are in, but relax your face. Let the big muscles around your torso work and not the tiny ones around your neck or on your face. So take very long, very deep breath without any stress on your face. Keep your face always calm, relax. And keep your mind focused into your body. So the key to balance is focus. If you don't pay attention, you're going to be rounded in the sitting pose. That happened to all of us. So to maintain this good posture that you are in, you have to concentrate a lot. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, slowly open your eyes. Let's bring your hands and your knees on the floor in a table pose. Your hands right below your shoulders and your knees right below your hips. Let's warm up your spine with the cat and cow. So inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. And one more time, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Then bring your spine back to a neutral position, so not a cat nor a cow. Then bring your right leg up. You look underneath you and see your right toes pointing down to the floor. And make sure your right heel is as high as your hip. You can look back to see that. And try not to open your hip to the side. And stay here. Try to hug your belly up every time you exhale. And feel like your heel is kicking back and reaching back to something behind you. And then let's lift your left hand up, reaching forward. Imagine you are one straight line from your fingers to your heel. And this line is really strong. And look at the focus point on the floor. So the key to balance, 1 is to focus, and 2 is to always reaching yourself to all the direction inside the pose. Let's inhale and exhale, bring your knee to your elbows, point your toes, curl yourself, and then inhale, go back to the straight point, don't do a back bend here, and exhale, round yourself, curl your belly in. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Then keep your knee here, put your left hand on the floor and step your foot forward. Let's inhale, bring your hip low and raise your arms up. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana. And exhale, bring your fingertips to the floor and move your hips back. Bring your heel to the front and flex your toes to the sky. Here you can use a block to support underneath your hands in the half split. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, forward bend. And then inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward bend. Try to go deeper than where you were before. And then we will stop in the inhale, halfway up. So you're raising your chest up strongly and you're pulling your hips back. It's fine if you are bending your knee. You don't have to make it 80 degrees straight. And then let's move the blocks to the side. Bring your knee back. Plank pose as you inhale. And exhale, chaturanga. So you can bring your knees down to the floor, but try to bring your elbows to the side of your body and lay down to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, cobra pose. And exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale in down dog. And when you exhale, push your hips up higher. For one more breath, let's inhale. And exhale. Then bring your knees down to the floor in table pose again. So move your shoulder right above your hands and gently put your knees down. Fix your table and then left leg up this time. Try to look at your left toes and make sure that they are pointing right to the floor and not pointing out. So your hip is square, which means both sides of your hips are facing to the front, to the floor. And then bring your right arm over your head. So keep pulling to the front and to the back and look at a still point on the floor. Focus on that focus point and always reaching yourself to all the direction in the pose. Find your core strength too. That is a very important factor also for balancing. And stay very focused in your own body. And then inhale. When you exhale, curl yourself, elbow to your knee, point your toes. Inhale, one straight line, don't make it a back bend. And exhale, round yourself. One more time, inhale. And exhale, round yourself. Keep your leg off the floor, put your right hand down to the floor and step your foot forward. You can move your foot further so that you can sink your hip low and inhale. Anjaneyasana pose or low lunge stretch. Exhale, hands down to the floor, find your block with you and move your hip back. Bring your heel to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, forward bend. And then we go to the halfway up and we stay there. Be very strong. Raise your chest up. Imagine that you can stay here even without your hands on the block. Pull your hip back all the time. And then let's move the blocks to the side and move your hip, move your foot back. Plank pose. Inhale and exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's stay here in down dog for several breaths. And then let's look at your hands and step your feet forward to your hands. Inhale, halfway up. Now use your own hand to check your spine in the halfway up. Make sure that it's flat back. So you can bend your knees slightly for that. And bring your arms over your head in halfway up. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Flex your knees, sit down in chair pose and raise your upper body a little bit. Inhale, stand up straight. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Close your eyes in Tadasana pose. Calm down in your breath. Inhale, let's bring your arms over your head. And now bring your right leg up in front of you. Point your right toes or flex your right foot so that your leg is really strong. And try to bring your knee closer and closer toward your chest. Inhale here and exhale. You can either put your foot down to the floor and step to high lunge, or you can just step to high lunge as you inhale. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Next time you inhale, let's straighten your front knee. Hold your hands onto your hips and exhale, arc your back and bring your spine parallel to the floor. Pyramid pose. Stay for one breath. Inhale and exhale. Then let's bring your hand down to the floor and step your front foot back. Plank pose. Chaturanga as you exhale. You can always put your knee down and inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Find a still position in down dog and be stable so that you can lift your right leg up. Look at your right toes and really see that the toes are still pointing down to the floor, so you will not open your hips to the side. Keep your hip exactly like in down dog and try to lift your right heel up higher. Take a deep inhale and exhale, bring your right knee toward your face and step forward. High lunge pose. Inhale, bring your arms up. And exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. Hold the blocks with you and put them in front of your front toes. As wide as your shoulders. Step your back foot forward and still keep your hip square like in high lunge. Lift your back leg off the floor and arc your spine. Make sure your back is flat. You can use your hand to check. You can bend your standing knee for this pose, Warrior 3. Stay here in Warrior 3. And stack your hip right on the top of your ankle. That means you bring your hip back a little bit so that you can remove your hands off the block. Hands in front of your heart is the easiest variation. And look down to the floor. And then slowly stand up. So I challenge you to stand up without touching your left foot down to the floor and bring your left leg up. Inhale and exhale. Bring your knee closer to your chest. Inhale and exhale. See if you can step your left foot back again into high lunge. So inhale here and then straighten your front knee. Hands down to your hips. Inhale. When you exhale, back parallel to the floor. You can bend your front knee a little bit, but keep your hip square by always pulling your right hip back. Then let's bring your hands down to the floor and step your front foot back in plank pose. From plank, knees down or chaturanga as you exhale. And inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's be stable in down dog. And then we can lift your left leg up. Look at your left toes, make sure they are pointing down to the floor. Your hips will not be turning out to the left side. Keep your hips exactly like in down dog and raise your heels up a bit higher. Inhale and exhale, knees toward your face. Step your left foot forward. High lunge. Inhale, bring your arms up. And exhale, bring your hands down toward the floor. And then bring your hands to the blocks in front of you. Step your back foot forward and still keep your toes pointing down to the floor. Lift your back leg up. Warrior 3. Arc your spine. Imagine you're doing a cow pose. And stay here. So you can bring your hip back a little bit so that it's stacking right on the top of your heel. Then you are not so dependent on the blocks anymore and hands in front of your heart. And then see if you can go from this pose to standing with one leg only and bring your right leg in front of you. Inhale, stand up. And exhale, bring your foot down to the floor, hands in front of your heart. Take a small break here. We're going to do this pose again. We're going to do this flow again. and hold a bit longer. So now stand with your left leg and bring your right leg up again. Inhale, bring your arms over your head. Stand up straight and see if you can bring your heel in front of you and you look like a letter L. Remember letter L. Flex your toes up to the sky, push your heels up far away. And then let's bring your foot down to the floor, hold into the blocks. Inhale halfway up. And now lift your right leg up into Warrior 3. Make sure your right toes are still pointing down to the floor. Then you can move your hands off the block, hands in front of your heart or arms over your head. Now it's harder with your arms over your head. Still look at the focus point on the floor. And bend your front knee, slowly stand down to the floor into high lunge pose. Inhale in high lunge and exhale. Then let's interlace your fingers behind you, straighten your front knee. And make sure your hip is still facing the front when you bring your back heel down to the floor. Inhale, bring your hands away from your body and make sure you are touching your palms. And exhale, make your back parallel to the floor and point your hands away from you. A focus point on the floor to look at. Inhale and exhale, pull your left hip back even higher. Inhale and exhale. Then let's bring your hands down to the floor, step your front foot back, plank pose. Chaturanga as you exhale. And inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pick your right leg up again, make sure your right toes are still pointing down to the floor. And see if you can bring your right leg up a bit higher than where you were before. When you exhale, bend your right knee and step your right foot forward. Inhale, high lunge. And exhale, start moving your body forward and go to Warrior 3 with your arms over your head. And slowly stand up. As you inhale, bring your legs in front of you. And exhale, kick your legs in front of you. So letter L again. Inhale and exhale, bring your foot down to the floor. Hold onto the blocks. Inhale halfway up, stay here before we go to Warrior 3. Make sure your back is flat. You can bend your knees slightly and then bring your left leg up. Inhale, Warrior 3, and bring your arms over your head again. Stay focused. For one more breath, bend your front knee and step back into high lunge. So inhale in high lunge. And for 2 more breaths. Then let's bring your back foot down to the floor and straighten your front knee. So your hip is still facing to the front of the room. Interlace your finger the other way and try to touch your palms. Inhale, bring your shoulders back and lift your hands up. And exhale, bring your back to parallel to the floor. Imagine you are pulling your shoulders away from your chest. And you don't have to go low. Just keep your spine parallel to the floor and try to make a small cow pose on your back. For 1 more breath, inhale. And exhale, bring your hands down to the floor, step your front foot back into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Now lift your left leg up and make sure your hips is not flipped. Still square hip here. And try to lift your leg up a bit higher than you did before. Then when you exhale, bend your left knee and step your left foot forward. Inhale, high lunge pose. And exhale, Warrior 3. And stay here for a while in Warrior 3. Check everything in your body, reaching your foot back, reaching your hands forward. And then slowly put your foot down to the floor. Inhale, bring your arms over your head. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Close your eyes and take a break in Tadasana pose. So now let's hold your hands onto your hips and bring your right leg up. Bend your knee at first. Bring your right arm inside and hold into your big toe. And then you can bring your left arm over your head to keep balance here. Try not to fall back. hold your belly and straighten your legs to make you stand up straight. If you cannot hold your toes, you can hold your knee. And then slowly bring your heel in front of you. Make sure that you need to keep your hips square in this hand to big toes variation. And always grow yourself up to the sky. Push your foot down to the floor and kick your heel in front of you. Also bring your right shoulder back for square shoulder and square hips. And then slowly step your foot back. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. Plank pose. And then knees down to the floor. So now let's move the blocks to the side for a moment. While you are here, let's keep your left hand and left knee right here on the same line. Step your right foot on that same line. So now your hand, your knee and your feet are on the same line that is parallel to the line of the mat. And bring your right arm up in side plank. Try to bring your hip forward, and now your hip is fully turned to the side. Then look at your hand on the floor. Let's move it forward a little bit so that you can bring your shoulder stacked right on the top of your hand too. And bring your back leg up. Look at your back toes. They are pointing to the side of the room. And use the outside of your hip to lift your leg up higher and higher. So you feel a bit warming up on the outside of your hip. That will be the muscle that work in warrior, in half moon pose. All right, let's slowly come back and bring your hand down to the floor. Inhale, raise your leg up, and exhale, bend your knee, bring to your face. Inhale one more time. Let's bring your hand down to the floor and then plank pose. Inhale, plank, and exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra pose, and exhale, downward facing dog. Now let's inhale, raise your right leg up and open your hip fully to the side. If you look at your right toes, if you see them, they are pointing to the side. But keep your shoulder the same here. One more time, inhale and exhale. Let's bring your right foot down to the floor in downward facing dog again. Inhale, left leg up. And exhale, bend your left knee and step your left foot forward to your hand position. Bring your back foot down to the floor in warrior two and stand up. Bring your arms out. Take a deep inhale and exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale to warrior two. And exhale, bring your hand down to the floor. If you cannot reach the floor, you can bring your elbow to your knee and bring the other arm over your head. Inhale, warrior two, and then straighten your legs. Push your hips back and bring your hand down toward the floor. You can hold the block in triangle pose and turn your arms over your head. So you're stretching the side of your body. Stay here in triangle. Inhale and exhale. One more breath, inhale and exhale. Then let's bring your hands down to the floor and move the block to the front of your toes. Bring your back foot closer and slowly pick your leg up and really see your toes pointing to the side. Half moon. You can still keep your right hand on the floor, but turn your hips out. And when you feel very balanced, you can bring your right hand up. Oops, half moon pose. It's a very hard pose, even though it looks really simple. So stay focused. If you fall out of the pose, slowly come back. And point your toes to the side all the time and feel that muscles on the outside of your hip working. Take a deep inhale. And then bend your knee and put your feet on the floor on the same level. Inhale, bring your arms up. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Close your eyes. So now let's open your eyes and point your right toes out like this. And bend your right knee. So you are here in the hand to big toes pose on the side variation. If you can bring your right arm inside and hook into your right toe, big toes. You can bring your left arm out to keep you balanced here. And again, try not to fall back. Always stand up straight. Raise yourself up, hug your belly in all the time. Now imagine you are growing to 4 directions. Your head is growing up, your foot is growing down, and your arms and your legs are growing to the side. Always stand with a straight knee. And you can slowly straighten your right knee day by day. Don't have to be today. And slowly come back and put your foot down to the floor. Relax your legs. And then we do hand to big toes on the front with your left leg up. So inhale, bring your arms up. And then bring your left leg up. Try not to flip your hip, so don't fall to one side. And bring your knee very close to your chest. You can hold your hand at your knee, or you can find your hand into your big toes. Stand up straight with your standing leg. And slowly kick your left heel in front of you. And always grow up. So your head is growing up, your foot is pushing down to the floor, and your heel is going to the front. It's like a branch growing from a tree. Okay, and then slowly step your left foot back, a long step, high lunge pose. Inhale, and exhale, bring your hands down to the floor, step back into plank pose. Then bring your knees down to the floor. Table pose, keep your right hand, right knee and right foot on the same line. And then step your left foot out. Turn yourself to the left side and slowly stack your hip onto each other. And stack your arms, your shoulders on the top of each other. Side plank. It's kind of balancing pose here. You have to keep yourself quite flat. So don't point your butt back. Actually, let's push your butt to the left side a little bit. Now look at your hand on the floor and move it very little bit forward. Then stack your shoulder on the top of your hand and lift your back leg up. If you're looking at your back toes, they will be pointing to the side of the room. So be very stable and lift your back leg higher and start feeling the outside of your hip working. This muscle is working to lift your leg up. And this will be what happened in half moon pose. And then let's bring your foot down to the floor, bring your hand down to the floor. Plank again. Inhale and exhale chaturanga. Inhale cobra pose. Exhale downward facing dog. Be stable in down dog. Let's take a deep inhale. And exhale all the air out through your lungs. One more time, inhale, hips up higher. And exhale. Lift your left leg up, inhale, and open your hips. So now if you look at your left toes, you'll find your toes pointing to the left side. Inhale, lift your leg up even higher. And then bring your leg down to the floor in downward facing dog again. We're going to change leg. Inhale, right leg up. And exhale, step your right foot forward to your hand. Bring your left foot down to the floor and stand up in warrior two. Inhale. Stay still in warrior two. Next time you inhale, when you exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. And exhale, hand down to the floor. Extended side angle. Bring your arms over your head, stretching the left side of your body. Inhale, warrior two. And then straighten your front knee. And exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Straighten your front knee and push your hips back. And bring your hand down to the floor or to a block to make triangle pose. So turn your arm, top arm over your ear and make your bicep right next to your ear. Keep reaching your hand forward as you inhale. And one more breath. And let's bring your arm up. And now bend your front knee again. Hold the block on the longer side and put it far away to the front of your toes. Step your back foot forward. You can still. And now let's bring your hand to the floor and put the block far away from you. So step your back foot forward until you feel like most of your weight is on the front leg. Slowly bring your back leg up. And you can bring your arm off the floor too. You can look at anything on the floor, but turn your hips and turn your chest to the side into a half moon pose. Try to raise your heel up higher and make sure your toes are pointing to the side of the room. Inhale. And exhale, step your feet down to the floor. And slowly stand up. Inhale. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Take a slow and long breath. Then you open your eyes. Now stand still with your right leg, but turn your left foot out like a 90-degree kind of position. And then we're going to bend your knee and lift the left leg up. You can bring your arms out and bring your left hand in and hold your left big toe. Then try to stay here and be very straight. So raise yourself up all the time like a growing tree. And imagine your arms and your legs are branches of the tree that are growing to the side. So all 4 directions you are stretching your body to. Foot down to the floor. Arms and legs to the side and head raising up. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Bring your foot down to the floor. Okay, come in.
Okay.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. Okay, so yes, so we have other actors and actresses here too. Let's stand at the front of your mat. And then inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, let's forward bend. And step your right foot back. Keep your right hand on the floor or on the block. And bring your left arm up into a twisted lunge. Inhale here. And exhale, let's go to a lunge. So a real one, bring your arms over your head in lunge. Inhale and exhale, bring your back knee down to the floor. Bring your back heel down to the floor. And bring your arms out. Warrior 2. So we're going to a half moon from here. Let's hold your hands on the block and put the block in front of your toes. And lift your back leg off the floor in half moon. You can look down to the floor, but turn your chest and turn your legs up to the sky, to the side. We're going to out of this pose, so bend your front knee and step your foot back in Warrior 2 again. Triangle pose, straighten your front knee and bring your hands down to the floor. So you can hold the block too in here, or you can put your hand on your own shin bone and raise your arms up. Take a deep inhale and then let's bring both hands down to the floor and holding the floor or the block. Turn your back hip so that you are now in a pyramid pose. Inhale halfway up, arc your spine, a back bend here. And keep your spine this way. Keep your right hand on the floor and left arm up. So twisted triangle pose. Trying to pull your left hip back and up. Take a deep inhale and exhale, twist more. Okay, so you are like in pyramid pose, but your torso is being twisted to the side. And then let's bring your hand down to the floor and step your front foot back in plank pose. Let's bring your knees down to the ground in table pose. And then let's bring your left hip back. Bring your right leg back. Use your left hand to hold onto your hip and make sure that it's not falling to the right side. So your hip should be square, and turn your chest to the left side. So we are twisting, and bring your hand to point to the ceiling in a twist. Okay, very good. So now try to bring your left shoulder and your right hip up in a twist. Look at your hand on the floor. Let's move your shoulder right above your hand and bring your back leg off the floor. So it's a balancing pose. And this pose will be a twisted half moon later when you stand with your foot on the floor. One more breath, inhale. And then let's bring your hand down and step into plank pose. Inhale, plank. And exhale, move forward in chaturanga and lay down to the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, bring your right leg up. look at your right toes and make sure that they are pointing down to the floor, so don't flip your hips. And bend your right knee and put your right foot to your right hand position. Inhale, bring your arms over your head in high lunge. And then let's exhale, bring your fingertips to the floor in front of your toes. Walk your hands forward, you can hold the block. We go into Warrior 3 and bring your back leg off the floor. So arc your spine here in a Warrior 3. You can bend your standing knee a little bit. Keep your left hand here and bring your right hand up to the sky into a twisted half moon pose. Take a deep inhale and exhale, bring your hand down and your foot down to the floor. Slowly stand up, inhale, bring your arms over your head. And exhale, hold your hand into your hips. Now let's bring your right leg up. Yes, and use your left hand to hold your right knee or your right foot. Okay, so slowly bring your heel in front of you. And then turn yourself to the right side. You can open your right hand behind you. You can look at anything in front of you or to the side to keep balance here. And try to grow yourself up like a growing tree with the branches growing to the side. Okay, and slowly get out of this pose. So bring your foot down to the floor. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. Let's take a small break here. And then we will change side. So inhale, arms up. And exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward bend. Step your left foot back, a long step. The lunge, and keep your left hand on the floor, but bring your right hand up. While you're doing this, let's bring your left hip up too. So bring your left hip up into a twist. And then slowly lift your hands off the floor and go to a rear lunge, high lunge. Your arms over your head when you inhale. And exhale, bring your back foot down to the floor, opening to the side, Warrior 2. And going to inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, triangle pose. So straighten your front knee and bring your hand down to the floor. Oh, sorry, I missed it. I missed the half moon. And bring your fingertips to the floor or to the block. And bring your back leg up. Half moon pose. Always point your toes to the side. And turn your hips and your chest to the side too. And let's slowly bring your back foot down to the floor into triangle. So stand with both of your feet, your legs straight. Let's push your hip back and bring your hand down toward the floor or the block, triangle pose. Take a deep inhale in triangle and exhale, maybe you can go lower. And one more time, inhale and exhale, bring your hands down to the floor and change your back leg position so that now you are in pyramid pose. You can hold the block here. Make sure your hip is square and both of your hips are facing the front. Inhale, back bend. So do the cow pose here. You raise your chest up. You can bend your front knee slightly, but still feel the stretch underneath your right leg. Keep your left hand here and bring your right arm up. Twisted triangle pose. Take a deep inhale, and when you exhale, twist more. So still keep your hip the same like in pyramid. And then you can slowly bring your hand down to the floor and step your front foot back into plank pose. Let's move your shoulder forward and bring both knees down to the floor in table pose. Okay, and now step your left foot back. Keep your left toes on the floor. Use your right hand to check your hip, make sure that it's square. And then turn your chest to the right side and bring your arm up to the ceiling. So you want to bring your left hip and your right arm up. Then you can bring your shoulder forward so that you can bring your back leg off the floor. And then let's bring your hands down to the floor. Plank pose, chaturanga. And inhale, cobra pose. And downward facing dog. Now let's look at your hands and inhale, raise your left leg up. And exhale, step your left foot forward. And then high lunge. So inhale, bring your arms up. Did we do this side? Yes, no, we did not. Okay, bring your hands down to the floor and you can find the block here and go to warrior 3. So lift your back heel off the floor. Keep your spine quite straight and flat compared to the floor. Keep your back flat. Keep your right hand on the floor and turn yourself to the left side. Bring your left hand up. Try to bring your back leg and your left arm up in half moon twisted. Then bring your feet to the floor and stand up. Inhale, bring your arms over your head. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. You can stay here and close your eyes for the mountain pose. And then let's hold your hands at your hips and now bring your left knee up in front of you without changing your hip position. Use your right hand to hold on your knee or hold on your foot. See how much you can extend your knee to the front and open your body to the left side. So pointing your hand behind you. Every time you exhale, turn more to the side and grow your head up higher. So imagine you're taller every time you inhale and twist more every time you exhale. Then slowly come back and you can take a break from here. And yes, and bring your arms over your head. Keep reaching yourself up and lengthen your spine. And then exhale, forward bend. And hold your feet or your ankle. So you can always walk your buttock back or bring your heels forward. And then raise yourself up, bend your right knee and put your right foot outside of your left hip, left knee. Let's use your left arm to hold your right hip, leg, and then turn yourself to the right side for a twist. So inhale, get longer, and exhale, twist more to the side. And then we change leg. So bring your legs in front of you again. Bend your left knee and put your left foot outside your right knee. Hug your left leg with your right arm and bring your left fingers behind you on the floor. So inhale, get longer, and exhale, twist. Bring your whole chest to the side. And then let's come back to the center. Hug your knees to your chest and lay down to the floor. And you can hold into your elbows to hug yourself really tight. Try to push your hips down toward the floor and make your back really big, pressing down to the floor. Close your eyes here and take a deep inhale. Then you can bring your right leg over your left leg and bring your legs to the left side. Use your left hand to hold them on the floor and open your right arm out and turn your face to the right side. Feel your breath coming down. And relax your arms and your legs. Then let's come to the center and chain your legs. So now bring your left leg over your right leg and bring them to the right side. Use your hand to hold them on the floor and open your left arm out. And after this pose, you can go back to the center and rest in Savasana. So let's bring your heels away from your hips and bring your hands away from your shoulders. So you're expanding the most on the floor. Close your eyes and let your body rest on the ground. Feel how your body is cooling down and your breath is slowing down. Let your legs and your arms relax on the floor. Then your spine and even the tiny muscles on your face. Release the tension on your face too, between your eyes, in your mouth. Relax your face. Every time you exhale, let go of the control that you have been putting on your body. So you are not controlling anything. Your body just sinking down to the mat. You can stay here in Savasana because you're at home. But I'm going to get out of this pose. So you can just stay here on the mat and relax for however long you want because you are doing yoga at home. Thank you very much. Namaste.